I'm here with Nicolas, Stella, recent graduate of the Life Accelerator. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do?
Well, I was born in Colombia, South America. Um, Moved when I was around 10 to Ecuador. Dad's job. There wasn't, I didn't grow up with much economical stability. Always having to move, changing schools. I had the chance to experience growing up with the poor kids and growing up with the rich kids just because of that instability. And it was interesting being brought up like this. It just gave me a different perspective on things, especially because for a good 60-70% of my life I was in the suburbs. Then I was also walking to school, riding a bike because it was the only chance, and witnessing kids getting stabbed in elementary school, just crazy third world country stuff that you can only picture in your head.
That's intense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. By the age of 14, I was what you could call a drug addict, and messing with all kinds of substances. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was interesting. So that's really all I can say.
What was going on with you inside, around December last year when you decided to join us? Like, what were you struggling with?
I had recently gotten this job as a composer at a studio in Ecuador. Music what got me out of violence, extreme use of drugs and alcohol. So getting a job as a composer was what it felt as the peak of my career. But I also, I figured it wasn't all I wanted, and I felt too comfortable. I've always felt like there's gotta be something else. There's gotta be something more to life than flesh, even, if that makes any sense. So at the moment, I I I was asking God, the universe. I was asking for a group or a mentor that really helped me accountable, that could push me and could really take me to that next level. That was what was happening in the moment.
And what about around you? What kind of peer group you with? What's the kind of messages that you're getting from, people around you?
After the Life
No,
Accelerator,
before.
before, um, it was it was mixed messages. I moved in with my parents. We were living in different cities, but I moved in with my parents, and they saw me getting a job. I was doing something through music. They were very proud at the studio. They were impressed with what I was doing. But all the people I looked up to, and the people I've worked in music with in the past, they stopped talking to me. All my heroes, if you will, stopped talking to me, and I realized later it was because they knew my heart wasn't where it was supposed to be. They knew I had much more potential than I was putting out there. So it was very mixed. It was, from one side it was bright and, oh, you're doing so well, keep going at it. From the other side it was, you can, that's just 10% of what you can do.
Okay. And why London Real? How'd you find out about us?
Well, thinking about it on my way here, I remember it was through Team Chief originally. I actually went out with Tim a couple of times. We went out for coffee and we ate in Ecuador. He was in Ecuador.
Really?
I hit him up and we hung out a couple of times. Fantastic guy. And that's when I realized London Rio is really people worth watching. Then he came up with an Elliot Halls video. That's when I got hooked. It's like, this guy's for real. Elliot Halls has been my hero. The only time I was at a gym lifting weights and messing with that stuff was when I was working as a janitor. I was 16 years old, and I got a gym membership for free. So I started watching Elliot Halls, following all of his of his steps, and I could relate a lot of being like a punk rock kid who doesn't fit in. I'm Colombian Italian, never knew who I was supposed to be, so I could relate with his message. But then when I saw London Rio, it was very, very formal, very business, and overall it was applied to reality, applied to a life in the city, how to be a Buddhist or whatever, how to be a spiritual being, how to be a holistic, successful person in a world where we have iPads and cell phones, and that's what I got from London Rio, and that's really what I stuck with.
What made you pull the trigger in December and actually join the Life Accelerator? Because it's a big decision, it's an investment. Why'd you do it?
Well, I think I got a couple of texts from you, someone in the team, and we're like, well, why don't you just do it? It's like, I'm earning $3 an hour. I definitely don't have the money. Well, we can help you out. Someone just tell us you need to do this. Don't wait for it. Now's the moment. And that's when I realized there's no better moment. It's starting out the year. You guys, your promo video about the blueprint, and again having all these videos, meeting all these people that have been here. I was like, I definitely gotta go through it. So they lended me the money. My dad gave me a big part of that, so I owe him for that. It was really what triggered it was just knowing that I needed to be held accountable. That was it. Because that's what you said on the promo video. Accountability is key. Oh, and especially the slogan, there's no such thing as extraordinary people, only extraordinary habits. And I've experienced it in the past when I had the chance of getting my hands on good habits, but I grow bored very quickly. So that's basically what happened. I was like, I need to know how to do all the things that people are talking about, how to exercise, how to meditate. Obviously, you can go on YouTube and find all of this, but they just tell you what to do. Oh, wake up early. This was all about how to do it, how to go at it every day and feel good about doing it.
Talk me through those first couple weeks in the Accelerator. It starts, it's like January 3rd, something like that. You get in there, you start seeing the people in there,
Yeah.
what we're asking you to do, you start doing it. What's that first memory?
It was interesting. The first memory was I realized what religions are all about. That was the first thoughts I had during the first week. I realized that religions are mostly built around people to act weird, to be weird and be themselves. It's an excuse, so you can get down on your knees, so you can be cathartic, so you can express, or so you can be quiet and have peace. Whatever fits you best. And I quickly realized this is like a religion, but this is like a religion for people that want to be good to themselves and those who surround them. It's weird practices. It's a lot of weird shit that people wouldn't normally be comfortable with. Just like religions, when you go to those Baptist or whatever it is, where you go to those temples where you're like, whoa, what are they doing? It was kind of like that. People broadcasting themselves and what are they doing? But at the end, you start seeing all these positive comments and you're really making a change in the world. I saw some fellows putting extra tips or helping people out in the streets or just very basic stuff like that, and then it goes out into their families, into their friends, their peers, and that's my thoughts on just the first week.
What was your first aha moment when you were like, wait a second, I'm making some progress here, something's changing about me? What did you first notice, and when was it?
With the cold showers. I've always known that cold showers as soon as I take them in the morning, I'm not the same person afterwards. I'm sure you can relate with any cold baths. And I knew I needed to be held accountable, so I told you all of you guys I'm gonna do this for 21 days. And on the third day, I wanted to stop. I was too miserable in the mornings. Afterwards, I was good, but about a week afterwards, I felt amazing, and I was like, I can actually do this, and I haven't stopped since. So I was kind of, yeah, I got this.
Nice. What'd you struggle with on the course?
Meditation. Because again, just like the cold showers, I knew it was something that brought great benefit into my life. I think it was through Elliot Holmes that I started reading Osho, and he has a different kind of active meditation that we do. So whenever I was practicing that, it just felt enlightened, if you will. I felt very nice. But at the same time, it was challenging to keep that practice. So having the accountability doc and having to put in the minutes, that was very, very challenging just the first week.
Now that the course is over, what's this biggest takeaway that you get from it? And for someone listening or watching us, that maybe they should take in their life? You know, that one lesson where you're like, man, this was a game changer for me.
The one lesson that I would take away is one that you probably didn't mention, but it's keeping in touch with relevant people that are in that same movie as you are, people that just want to bring great things into the world, people that, well, not even into, just people that want something more out of life, something that I tell myself every morning. Part of the affirmations is, I am not average. I will never be average, and I don't think anyone who's average can go through this.
Talk to me about the people in your class. What did you learn? What did you see? You met a bunch of them last night.
Yeah. It was quite surreal, meeting everyone in 3D. It was strange because most people were older than me. I'm 21, and at first I was like, wait, do I belong here? Should I even be doing this? I felt a bit out of place. But then I really got to talk to them, and learning from them was just mind-blowing, because they were having a lot of the same problems that I was having, although they were 20, 30 years older than me, even more. And it was strange how similar problems were manifested in different countries and different bodies, different genders, different ethnicities, just because of their surroundings, just because of how they were brought up. But at the end, it was the same root.
Yeah. You surprised me when you posted a picture of some ink that's now on your ankle. Can you describe what I'm talking about and why it happened?
Yeah. Well, actually, some people were surprised. Like, whoa, that's too far. You know, I was getting all those kinds of comments. Like, what happened there? I decided to do it because it was honest. It was the least I could do to represent what was happening inside, to put that stamp, to say this is what I went through, this is what I want for my life. I wanna keep all these rituals. I wanna keep all this information. I don't want it to be just information. I actually want it to manifest in the flesh. So it's kind of like that. And honest, it was much easier to do this than to keep up the meditation, the cold showers, all the things. It was much easier because I did it, no worries. But it's just, I have the habit of doing this. I don't know, that like this hip is tighter or something. So every time I'm at work or even just like lay in bed and do this, I go, yeah, that's me now.
So that's going to remind you to keep all of these habits going and all these practices
Every day.
every day for the rest of your life. You're looking at London Real Life Accelerator.
Exactly.
That's strong.
Remember, I was here, met you, your crew, went through your beautiful course, and yeah.
You're 21, man. You keep these habits up, I'm telling you, man, you're going to be on fire. I mean, I just can imagine you at 26 and 31 and 36 and 41. I mean, you're just going to be killing it if what you've done is any indication in a huge way. So,
Thank you.
we made videos about New Year's Eve. Who we're going to be on New Year's Eve? Who are you going to be?
I'm very interested in becoming the kind of person that my heroes look up to. Someone that they can say, hey, man, let me take you out for a coffee. Or just listen to my music. Be like, whatever it is, the way I perceive, the way I think of them, I want to be that person for them. It's very demanding, but after this course, and I've thought of that, but after this course, I know I can get there. I know I can become that person.
All right. So you want to be the mentor to other people.
Mentor of my mentors.
Say we went out on the street and we bumped into the Nicolas that didn't take the course. What's that guy like?
Gloomy, lacking life, and not nearly as excited as I am. Just thinking about it makes me feel kind of blue because this year wouldn't have been the same. Crazy stuff has been happening pretty much every day. Unfortunately, I told Julian, I don't know if you got the message from you, but from me, but I had to deal with the death of two friends, and at a very young age that they hadn't even reached their 40s, and I don't know how I would have dealt with that without this group supporting me, saying, hey, it's all right, it's part of life, what are you going to do now? So it would have been sad not to have this opportunity.
Well, this is like La Familia, you know? This is like your people going forward, and, you know, every month you guys are going to be on these calls together, and so, you know, I want to see you just be the best you. I want to see you winning it, killing it, dealing with challenges, because we're always going to face resistance. We're always going to face these events in our life where we can choose to kind of quit, go back to the old version of ourselves. But, you know, hopefully you have these tools, you have this peer group, and you're thinking, no, I can use it as a way to grow and maybe even get better.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
To someone listening to us right now, they're looking at this, who's this 21-year-old kid, who's not sure if they want to take one of these accelerators or not, what do you tell them?
I would say most people wouldn't take it because I think in my case the price, because they think they don't have the money, they think they can't get the money. You can't put a price on a new life. You can't put a price on these conversations, on an amazing peer group that just holds you accountable. And if you think you can, then it's definitely not for you, because it's not for average people. It really isn't. You won't make it out alive.
Nicolas, you're wise beyond your years. When I look into your eyes, I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's lived a few different lives. Because you have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. It's been a huge honor having you on this course. You got incredible energy. And, you know, when some of the older people see the things you do, you inspire them to act, you know, because they're like, here's this guy, he's 21 years old and he's getting these things done. How come I can't do that? So, you know, you're just as big a part of this course and the success and the transformations everyone else has made as I am and anyone else is, you know, and it's a big part of it. And I'm so glad you came out, and George T did this crazy fundraising thing and got you here, and it's just this crazy group, man.
He was amazing.
Right? And so, yeah, I just want to thank you for being a part of it. And, this is the time I'm challenging you to just step up everything in your life, Go big on all of these habits, make us proud. Because if you don't, you're going to be pissing me off. You're going to do a disservice to us. And I don't want to have this conversation on New Year's like, oh, where's Nicolas? Oh, he didn't make it. Oh, something bad happened. I want you to come on that call on New Year's and just be blowing us all away and be like, yo, this is what time it is now. This is who I am now. And hopefully we won't recognize you.
It's exactly what's going to happen.
All right, that's a bet. Thank you, sir.